Welcome to the One Life podcast with Behka White. I am your host, and this is episode 55, Heroes. I attended my first 12-step meeting when I was 17. My Uncle Darrell was an addict of every possible substance, and he wanted me to understand what he had been through to get himself out of addiction and into recovery. I couldn't appreciate it at the time, but it was such a gift to be there with him. As I looked into the faces of all of those in attendance, I could see the struggling white-knuckle folk still bound by the chains of addiction, but wanted something better. And then there were those with a sense of hope that they could actually be clean and stay clean. And then there was sobriety. Sobriety may be a precarious state, but it is beautiful and in stark contrast to being caught in addiction. Sobriety looks like peace and serenity and quiet confidence balanced with humility. It is awe-inspiring. That meeting was a sacred and holy place. Even though Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous are not religions, God walks there. My Uncle Darrell was active in AA and NA groups throughout his life. He didn't want anyone to be stuck in the despair that he once was. He traveled the world speaking and inspiring people to recovery. He pulled people out. He's one of my life heroes. When my oldest, Mariah, was in 9th grade, she was given an assignment to interview one of her family members. She chose Darrell. At the time, he was living at my cousin's house and on hospice in the final stages of liver cancer, which was a consequence of the years of drug and alcohol use. Over the phone, he shared with Mariah some of the beautiful and painful things of his life. And of course, he gave a strong warning against substance use and abuse. It was a thrill for me to see Darrell share his wisdom and love and goodness with my daughter in their short conversation. He passed away shortly thereafter. His message of overcoming addiction was this: he could not do it by himself. He tried several times. He showed me his strength when he took me to his 12-step recovery meeting. I've shared these before, but I think it's worth the repeat. The first 3 of the 12 steps are: number 1, I can't; number 2, God can; and number 3, I will let him. How grateful I am for my Uncle Darrell and his example. Today's invitation is to consider who the heroes are in your family tree. They are there. We all have them. Learn about them. Share them. They are a source of power and wisdom for you and your children. We only get one life. Let's make it our best.